Hello everyone, my name is Lavina and welcome back to my channel Kiki's Learning Video. Our today's video is for all those who wants to learn phonics in depth. Yes, phonics is far beyond the letter sounds, and today we are going to learn the long and short vowel sounds. Well, if you want to learn more about phonics, you can consider this as first unit because we are going to learn more things that are related to this course. There are so many parents who want to teach their children the phonics concept at the comfort of their home. And honestly, so many of them have reached out to me on LinkedIn and Instagram and they want a detailed video on long and short vowel sounds. To be very honest, children easily get confused between the short vowel and long vowel sounds. They at first do not know that they have different sounds, but after this video, I really hope that the concept of short and long vowel will get clear and your children will easily be able to understand that how we have to use the short vowel sound and how we have to make the use of long vowel sound and where the particular sound is supposed to come. So just to give you all a little highlight that what we are going to learn throughout this video. In this video, we are going to cover the sounds of short and long vowels, as I mentioned before. We are also going to practice the sound with the help of some examples and we are going to implement them in writing. Well, for all those who require those worksheets, you can either leave me a comment asking for worksheet or I'll be providing you the link for those worksheets so that you can print and you can provide your children to practice at home. Let's begin. So friends, now we will begin with our vowel sounds. First, let me introduce you to the vowels. A, E, I, O, and U. So these are our vowels. Now we will understand the difference between the sound of short vowel sound and long vowel sounds. So let's begin with our first letter, letter A. First, let us understand that what is the sound of short and long vowel. Then I will introduce you to the examples. Talking about the short vowel sound of letter A, so the short vowel sound is eh. Eh, apple, eh, ant, eh, alligator. Now, let's look for long vowel sound of letter A. Long vowel sound is A. Yes, the sound of long vowel letter A is A. Like we say usually, the first letter of our alphabet, A. A says A as in ape. Now when we use the long vowel sound, doesn't matter whether it is A, E, I or U. Whenever the word long will come before vowel sound, then we are going to stretch the sound. Stretch as in we are going to put pressure while saying the letter. For example, I'll show you here. This is short vowel. This is long vowel. Now when we say apple, do we put pressure on letter A? It's just apple. So we are just throwing the sound. Now when we are going to say long vowel letter A, so we are putting pressure on letter A. It's like ape, ace, Acer, angel. I hope the sound of short and long vowels are clear now. Now we are going to learn short vowel sound and long vowel sound of letter E. E says eh. E says eh. So this is the short vowel sound eh. When we say eh, our faces turns like we are smiling. So E says eh as in elephant, eh as in egg, eh as in elevator. Now we are also going to see the difference between the sound of short and long vowel E, because we are learning about E sound, right? So when we say short vowel E, we smile. Our faces turn like this when we say eh. Okay? So short vowel sound is egg, eh. Elephant, can you see? Eh. Elevator, eh. Now let's see our long vowel E sound. E says E. The original sound of letter E is the long vowel sound. E as in eagle. E as in eat. E as in Easter. Can you see the stretch of the sound in long vowel? Like I said before, whenever the long vowel sound we are going to talk about of any vowel sound, so we are going to produce the original sound of the letter, which will be a bit stretched. I hope the long and short vowel sound of letter E is now clear. Now friends, we are going to talk about our next vowel sound, and it is letter I. So now we are talking about our short vowel sound of letter I. Short vowel sound says I. I says I of short vowel sound. But when we talk about long vowel sound, what will it be? That's right, it will be long, stretched sound of letter I. It is I. The original sound of the letter long vowel letter sound is I. I says I as in ice cream. Now let's look at some of the examples of short vowel and long vowel sound. As I mentioned, short vowel sounds, they are going to be short. The answer of understanding the concept of vowel is in the concept itself. Short sound of I. Iguana. So we are hearing the sound of I very little, very short, right? Igloo. Indicator. Are we stretching the letter sound anywhere? I don't think so, because I can only hear a very short sound of the letter. So I. Important. Short vowel sound is I. Iguana, I. Igloo, I. Indicator, I. Important. Now, let's look at the long vowel sound of letter I. Just because it is saying long, so the sound will be the original sound of the letter. I. Ice. I. Ice cream. I, ideology. I, identity. I hope, friends, the short and long vowel sound of letter I is now clear. Now let's move on to our next vowel sound. It's letter O. O, when we are talking about short vowel sound, again the sound of letter O will be short. O says O, as in orange. We are hearing very little, very short sound of letter O in the word orange. O says O, O as in orange, O as in omelette, O as in olive. So very little sound in all these words. Now let's look for the long vowel sound of letter O. So friends, the long vowel sound of letter O says O. The original sound is the long vowel sound of letter O. So O says O as in oval. Can you feel the stretch of sound in the beginning of the word? Let's look at some other examples. Oak, oats. I hope the sound of this letter is also clear. Let's move on to our last vowel sound, which is letter U. Now friends, we are going to talk about our last vowel sound. It is letter U. The short vowel sound of letter U is ah. Ah, as in umbrella. And the long vowel sound of letter U is U. As always, the original sound of the letter. The long vowel sound will be the original sound of the letter. U says U, as in unicycle in the long vowel sound. Now let's look at some other examples of the short and long vowel U. The short vowel sound of letter U will be ah, umbrella, ah, umber, ah, up, ah, upper. Can you feel the short sound of letter U here? We are not stretching too much on the beginning of the word or the letter sound. But in long vowel, we are going to stretch. We are going to produce the original sound at the beginning. U, unicorn. Can you hear the original sound of letter U? Unicorn. Unicycle. Unite. Utility. So these are all the examples of our long vowel letter U. I hope the concept of short and long vowel is very clear. Now we are going to look at some of the examples. Friends, it's not necessary that if we are going to talk about the long vowel sound, so they will always come only in the beginning of the sound. No. The sound of long vowel of any vowel can come either in the beginning, either in the middle. So let's look at some of the examples of long vowel A sound. So we are going to pronounce the sound of the letter same as the name of the letter. A says A in the long vowel. So here is a word list. For example, baby. Can you feel the stretch on letter A while saying the name of the word? Baby. So the A is stretched, it's long. Let's look at some of the other examples to understand it clearly. Table. Data. Data. The back, the ending sound of the letter A is short vowel, but the beginning or the middle sound of the letter A is long vowel. Data, data. Lady, lady. Paper. So these are all the examples of our long vowel A sound. E sound will be pronounced same as the original sound of the letter E. Emu. Me. Can you feel the stretch of letter E here? The sound of letter E? Yes, I can feel that. B. Are we by any chance saying beh, meh, heh, sheh? No, because that is the sound of short vowel E. But we are learning about long vowel E. So the sound is me, be, ego, equal, evil, she, he. Now let's look at some of the examples of our next vowel sound, which is I. Before we are going to look for some of the examples, let me tell you that I, whether it is like this, whether it is like this, whether it is like this, or like this, like if there is some word in between, or maybe not. So the sound of all these will remain I, like long vowel I, like ice cream. This is the example of ice cream. Like if we will talk about I and E, so the example will be die. If we talk about IGH, so the example, for example, it's sight. If we are talking about I and E, so the example can be kite. I hope the concept of long vowel I is clear. Now let's look at some of the word examples of starting with letter I. I as in ice cream. I as in tiger. Item. Idea. Idol. Now friends, let's look at the examples of long vowel O. The sound of long vowel O is O. It can be O individually. It can be followed by OA. It can be followed by O and then ending the word with E. It can be OW. It can be O followed by E. So the sound of all these words, wherever O, A, O, E, O, W is coming, will remain same. O, the long vowel sound. These are also known as diphthongs. For example, over. Let's look at some of the words. So, no, go. Here O is coming at the end. But now let's look at some of the examples where O is coming in the middle. Total. Bonus. Can you feel the stretch of letter O? Bonus. Now let's look at some of the words where O is followed by A. Boat. O and A. But we are hearing only the sound of letter O, not the sound of letter A. Boat. Boat. Here A becomes silent. Boat. Throat. Throat. O, A is only sounding like O. Throat. Coach. Coach. Can you hear the sound of letter A? I cannot hear it, but I can only listen the sound of long vowel O. Coach. Coach. Now, let's look at some of the examples of O, where the word is ending with E. Joke. Are we hearing the sound of letter E? No, because here E is magic E. We will learn about the rules. And because of the magic E, the sound of O is becoming long vowel. O, joke, joke, joke. Let's look at another example of long vowel O, where O is ending with the word E, where magic E is implemented. Bone. So because of magic E, the long vowel sound is coming of letter O. Zone, lobe. These are all the words of long vowel O. Now let's look at some of the examples of O and W. Flow. Are we by any chance saying O, W? No, we are saying only one sound, O. Flow. O and W, when coming together, they are making only one sound, O. 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 We are not using different sounds. Grow. See? Row. They are only one sound, and these two letters making one sound is what we call as digraphs. There is also the rule that we are using here, diphthongs, and we will get on that in the next video. Let's look at some of the examples of O and E. Toe, do, fo, ho. T-O-E, toe, making one sound, O. Are we by any chance saying toy? Are we by any chance saying doy? No, we are only making one sound, toe, because here also magic E is working. So we have to understand the concept of long vowels before we jump on to magic E. Now friends, let's look at some of the examples of long vowel U. The sound of long vowel U, as I mentioned before, is the original sound of the letter U, not the short vowel sound. So U, unit. The sound U can be heard at the beginning of the word. Duty, bugle, human, unicorn, student. These are some of the examples of long vowel U. So here is the worksheet, parents, that I was talking to you about in the beginning, that how we can implement our vowel sounds into writing practice. So now that we have learned all short and long vowels, let's understand how you can use this worksheet to help your children learn the concept in the writing practice. First, the worksheet is saying identify the objects, and you have to fill in the sound of long vowel A. After looking at the pictures, whether the long vowel A is coming or not. So all you have to do is read the description, introduce them to your children, and you can show them some pictures which are displayed on the worksheet, and you can ask them to fill it in. For example, we are seeing the picture of apple, fish, bag, pig, cat, and ant. You can ask them, can you hear the sound of ah in apple? So they can fill it in A on the missing place of apple. You can ask them, can you hear the sound ah in the word ant? So the first picture is of ant. So you can ask them if they can hear the sound of letter A. That's how, friends, you have to do this worksheet. You can look at some of the other examples. Here I have the worksheet of letter E, like E as in egg. So you have to identify the objects, fill in short vowel E sound if you hear the short vowel E sound in any word which are shown in the picture. and you can write wherever you are hearing the E sound, the sound. Egg. So are we hearing E sound? Yes, so we are going to fill it in. Are we hearing sound in bed? Because the short vowel E sound is So yes, we are hearing the sound of Similarly, I have the worksheet of letter O, then I have the worksheet of letter I, and then I have the worksheet of letter U. All the vowel worksheets I have shown you here. So if you want these worksheets to practice at home, you can drop me a comment. I will share you the link where you can download it from. I have scanned copies and I have some other examples of the worksheets which you can use, and you can bring it into your child's daily practice. That's how our long and short vowel sounds are complete. I hope that you have understood the concept and that you have liked this video. Well, this is all for today. I really hope that you understood that how to utilize the short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds in your daily reading practices. Whether you are a parent who was watching this video to help your child, or a child itself who was wondering that how to implement these sounds in your daily reading, this video might have helped you. And further, we are also going to learn about consonant blendings. So do not forget to subscribe my channel, Kiki's Learning Video, and stay tuned with us so that I can keep creating such educational content to help you. Till then, keep learning, keep playing, stay healthy, and stay blessed.